Okay, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And the chief will flaunt his flag and we will start. All right? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, chief. You can leave. All right. Where do we start? How about a roll call?
Sir. Herb Newman,
Here.
Joe Bailey, Tanya Block, Mark Spizak,
Here.
Tina Ugrin. Here.
Okay, so we have a quorum. Mr. Bailey called. He's at our board meeting at the Nature Mountain. So I told him he's going to be short a quorum, so he's on his way up. Has everybody had a chance to see last month's meeting minutes?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, it's approved. Now on to the executive director. Is she here?
She is here.
Okay. All right, could we have a report from you, Madam Director? What happened tonight?
Yes, sir. I don't have anything to add to the director's report today, but there's a lot of good information in there. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Tina, Mark?
I don't think I had any.
Just a congratulations to Elaine for the award.
Yes, Elaine Marsh.
Yeah. And I also saw that Mike Johnson got recognized, so I'd like to give a shout to him. He got a, is that the American Garden Association?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
It was a national award.
American Guard Club of
Yeah, America.
America, yes.
And has Matt ever been here? You know, the architect?
I believe he has. Joe Matava been here?
Yeah.
Nick?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Has Joe Matava been here?
I don't think Joe's been in this building.
Okay.
I think I mentioned it at the last meeting, but I seem to be getting calls from architects. They're all curious as to what the place looks like and what we've done to it. And the two that have managed to be here, unbeknownst to me or whatever, rave reviews for everything. And particularly, I've tried to impress on everybody I talk to that it's the Summit Metro Parks that did this. A good portion of the retrofitting and restoration and reuse is courtesy of Summit Metro Parks, not a bunch of contractors.
And design before we even got the art.
Yeah, so credit is due where it's given, and it's all, I hate to say us, because I come to eat the skinny pie. Thank you again, thank you for where we are. Who'd have thought a couple of years ago that this place that spilled all that debris into the lake would be the cornerstone of the restoration of the lake. Thing it ruined. So congratulations to all of you for what we've done here. I think it's rave reviews. The little spot that it is compared to Valley View and Sand Run and all the parks, the little spot it is has a giant influence about bringing parks to the people. And I think that's what we're supposed to be doing anyhow. That's our mission. Right?
Agreed.
Okay. So much for that. Okay, so were any items removed from the consent agenda?
No.
None?
None.
Any questions, even though none were removed?
No.
None?
None.
Okay, all the exorbitant money she hands
Yep.
out is okay?
Yeah, I thought so.
All right. All the overpaid and underworked people that work here, that's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, do we have an approval for the consent? Just kidding.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none? Okay. Better drag this out, we have
We'll talk more slowly.
to. Okay. How about old and new business?
We have neither this month. Relatively light agenda.
Relatively?
Things are moving along swimmingly.
That scares me. That's a frightening statement.
It makes up for those board meetings where we had quite a lot to discuss and a lot
Okay.
going on.
So,
Hi, Jay.
I went to the one.
Come on in.
welcome. Tell me we have no correspondence?
We do have correspondence, yes.
Okay. All right.
We do. So in your board, you've got a letter from Curtis and Diane Howard. Just so you can hear me a little more clearly. This is a parcel that is along Treaty Line that's on one of the dead-end streets that comes down to Treaty Line. So it's a request to sell a park property to a resident. So as you recall, in order for us to sell public land, which is owned by Summit County, it takes a board action, it also takes a probate judge action. In these circumstances, and this is not the only time, of course, that we've been asked, for the most part, we don't really do that. In 100 years, I think we've sold one property. So.
My comment is that parcel's straight across from like the entrance to that park area there. And I can see the value in the future of retaining those parcels on the south side of Treaty Line just for overflow parking if something develops in that field that would start attracting like maybe soccer or whatever, So I would be more inclined to hang on to the property for future use for the park.
Yeah, the staff's opinion is, we have that because of the buffer it provides between the residents and the park road. And likely overflow would be our first choice to put it over in the residential section. It's more of a buffer, and it's a conservation property as well.
Well, I think this is pretty much a staff and your decision as to what should or shouldn't be done with the property. And quite frankly, I don't think we're young enough to see it happen anyhow when we start the process. At least I'm not. So we're going to have to cede to the staff's recommendation, and so be it.
Okay.
Good? Is that
Yes,
fair?
I agree.
statement? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. I will respond to the letter.
I have a
And
question back there.
yes, sir.
Thank you for acknowledging me. I am Curtis Howard, and me and my wife were the ones who had submitted that letter to purchase the property. I know the property is well spun on, placed on the market. Our plea to the board is, as a resident, we actually live right next door to that vacant property. And for the last house we built on that street, Holmes Drive. And I do know that the property, from what I understand from the person who owned it, I can't correct it or anything like that, but the person who had owned the property, the vacant land, had donated to the parks when they sold their house. It was part of their property to pay for the parks. I do know that, to address one of the questions I think you had, Mr. Newman, in regards to overflow parking, they have soccer games and large events at that park, and it gets full, but that parking lot never has been completely full, and I've been a resident there for 21 years. Me and my wife are making this plea to buy this purchase this property because we need to buy a house, and we need to buy a house because we need to have a master bedroom on the first floor. That's something that we have grown into after 21 years in our particular house, because it was on the second floor. And we searched around Southern County for a property we could build a new home on. And one of the greatest things that we love about our house is the location. It's very peaceful. We like being next to the park. That small parcel, I think the only people that uses that parcel right now in this current state are my grandkids. They're over there a lot, all the time. I'm going back to see animals and smalls, bring them into the house. I really would like for you to consider placing this parcel on the market, whatever the market value is for it. Given what it is, we would be willing to pay. It's something that is very important to us. I think it will be an advantage to the park in the sense that that property that, from what I understand, and I don't have anything to prove it, that property was donated, and so whatever the sale price is for that park would be additional revenue for the park. And so kind of works. I just want to make sure that I was able to send this meeting and make my plea to the board to consider selling this parcel. I'm not saying it has to be sold to me, but whatever the value, put it on the market for sale, we most certainly will make a bid for the property. That we love very much. Love to stay, and I'm saying I'm looking at it right now. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, but I can tell you that we will, in executive session, we will have a further discussion with regard to your request and communicate with you. Just as Lisa King stated, this is not something that's done every day here. There are a lot of rules and regulations with regard to sale of public property, public bidding, permission from the court, etc. So we'll have to take all that in consideration. And I will
I understand that, I did not know that, but I understand that there is a process to get in place. I don't know exactly what it was or what it is. And if appropriate, we would, me and my wife, we would be willing to assist in paying for any parts of payments of the fees involved in getting the process established and going through the process to sell the property.
we'll communicate with you. We'll have a further discussion with regard to your request.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So for question, we do have Bridget with us
Hey,
today.
Bridget?
So I am going to report on our fundraiser that we had. It was a great success. The weather was perfect and actually even chilly at the end of July, which was, in my opinion, fabulous. We honored this lovely woman here, Virginia Bueno, for her service in conservation and historic preservation. And all at the same time, got to honor Christine Freitag, our founder. This was the first award that we gave out. We had about 70 people. We netted over $11,000. And as of now, we're planning to go back to our regularly scheduled end of March date, which seems to be one of the reasons we chose that is nobody else wants to have an event then. So we don't have a lot of competition, and our plan is to be at Valley View, which we know would be a huge attraction. So more on that, it would be I think the last or fourth Friday of March, I think the 20th. More later.
Thank you, Bridget. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm going to have a fundraiser. You want to help me?
It depends what you're raising money
Thank you, congratulations again. And thank you for your service for our honoree.
Yeah.
Most important, you're what makes the park happen. So, right?
Very good. Yes, exactly.
Anything else?
That's all we have under correspondence and public portion. So, and we do have an executive session today.
You do?
Yes.
Too bad.
Tab 9. There you go.
Okay, I ask for a motion that the Board of Park Commissioners adjourn to executive session, consider appointment, employment, discipline, investigation, promotion, demotion, compensation of a Summit Metro Park employee, 121.22, purchase of property for a public purpose pursuant to 121.22, to confer with counsel concerning disputes that are the subject of pending litigation and imminent litigation pursuant to 121.22, and to prepare for discussions with public employees concerning terms and conditions of employment pursuant to what, Lisa?
121.22 G4.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Second. None opposed?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Herb Newman,
Yes.
Joe Bailey, Tanya Block, Mark Spisak,
Yes.
Tina Ugrin. Yes.
Thank you all again for your hard work on this. Great.